Last week on Lady K Sailing, we performed a rescue on the Erie Canal. If you want to see that episode, click up right here. In this episode of Lady K Sailing, we continue the journey up the Erie Canal with our buddy boat Vagari. We show you Lock 20 and onward, we repair a handheld VHF, and we check out the most happening town on the Erie Canal, Lake Sylvan. After last week's episode largely featuring our buddy boat Vagari, I wanted to give you some background on the boat, the owner, and why he got stuck a few times on the Erie Canal. Mark and his wife Christy are actively chasing the dream to sail off into the sunset. Mark is a follower of Lady K Sailing, and we ran into him just north of Manhattan. He was thrilled to meet us and explained that partly in thanks to YouTube sailing channels, they too are chasing their dreams. Vagari is a 1960s Whitby 45 racing sailboat. She was built by one of the C's from C&C before C&C Boats was C&C Boats. They bought her in Connecticut and are just trying to get her home for a full refit before they sail off into the sunset. There are a few issues though. Vagari has a 7-foot swept back racing fin keel because she is bred for racing. She also has an older engine with some issues that needed to be sorted out. Mark is an ex-Marine and his strength through all of the trials Vagari put him through was nothing short of amazing. Her engine tested him time and time again, and her deep keel slowed him down, but couldn't stop him from getting her home to Michigan. Mark actually swapped the engine before getting her home, but he did in fact get her home. Missing the red buoy in the last episode was just an unlucky mistake, and was actually made by some lesser experienced crew that was driving the boat at the time. If you want to check out their adventures, Mark and Christy have a YouTube channel right here.
Okay guys, we're pulling up to Lock 20. Our buddy boat has his wife meeting him at Lock 20. She's gonna get back on the boat. So he's still got the overheating problem. And it usually is bad when we're sitting still, so in the lock. When he's doing our like regular speed, like now we're doing 6 knots, it seems to be fine, but the water pump is also eating itself. Like there's metal shavings coming out. So anyway, here comes Lock 20. See what that's all about. Oh, tide rip. That was weird. So Lock 20 has some pretty big holes in the wall. Oh, there's some tide there. Whoa. Easy girl, easy. Down here. So we get a little bit concerned the fender is gonna get caught in one of them and rip off. So now we're just doing the rope in one hand and boat hook in the other hand. We're gonna hold ourselves off the wall a little ways. There's another sort of hole up here too. But it's better than being down the next set because there's a huge hole down there. So should be pretty good. Alright guys, so this is Rome, somewhere you might consider stopping on the Erie Canal. It's a very popular stop because of the mileage. It sort of makes sense. But the wall is like, you can see it behind me. It's very, very ragged. It's very hard to tie up. There's very few cleats. There's no electricity. Or there is, and it didn't work. Like, we ended up running extension cords last year. It was, I don't know. There's not really any facilities very much. It's sort of just like not a cool spot. Alright guys, we just did one of the long boring stretches. So from lock 20 to lock 21 is 14 miles of arrow straight man-made ditch. Not the most exciting thing, but it's very pretty, very beautiful. No complaints. Approaching lock 21 now. We are 1 mile out, about half a mile. I'm going to give him a shout, let him know we're westbound and what we need. It actually looks like it might be a down lock. So that'll be our first down lock on this particular journey. I could be wrong. We'll see when we get closer. Lock 21, lock 21, lock 21. This is westbound traffic, 2 sailboats. Alright guys, I think 21 and 22 are the same lock master, because he said we're going to have to wait, he's going to lock through another boat, and then all 3 of us can go into the next lock, and he said he will lock us through on this lock. So I think he just drives back and forth. So he's still back there dealing with the other boat, but this lock is wide open in the light screen, so we've agreed we're just going to go right in and grab the wall, and we'll wait on the wall. That way we're ready to go. So these down locks, these are your first 2 down locks. They're very, very tall. I don't see the sign to know how tall. They're at least, I don't know, 30 or 40 feet. But they're very, very fast. Just woof, right down. And there's a lot less turbulence because there's no pumps shooting at you from every direction. So they're really easy in comparison to everything else we've done. This has been really easy. So we like these big down locks. A lot of wind today though. It's 20 knots on the nose. You don't get it all in here, but it makes it tricky in the lock because the bow wants to get in or out of the wind. Sailboat. Anyway, this is the last lock for today. This will be 22, and then we're on to Sylvan Beach. And again, like I said earlier, a lot of people would stop at Rome, but we figured we'll do the whole 50 miles. We'll go right to Sylvan Beach because that is a staging area to cross Oneida. And Oneida is a bear, especially with your mast strapped down. This is what's going to test how well you strapped your mast down, is Lake Oneida. So tonight, Lake Oneida is blowing 20 knots, so it's going to be evil, evil bad. But tomorrow, the wind is light and variable. So get going tomorrow morning, and we should have a pretty calm ride across Oneida. So, I mean, that's good for us, but we won't get to show you how bad it is. So if you go back to my last video last year, you should be able to see some footage of Lake Oneida with the mast down. It's very rolly and very choppy. Anyway, just waiting for a little runabout that wants to lock with us. And once he gets here, we're gonna drop down 30 or something feet. And then I think it's 4 miles to Sylvan Beach. And then they said they're buying dinner tonight because, well, we kind of saved their butts today. So, yeah, beers are on them. All right, guys, we're here. We're tied up to the free wall. They don't have cleats, they just have rings. So that's kind of the downside, I guess. There's also no electricity here. There's no like bathrooms or anything. It's just a wall and you tie up. But it is happening downtown right now on the waterfront. So we are gonna go check that out. We're gonna bring you guys with us so you get an idea of what this place really has to offer. It's a Sunday night, so it's a little bit busy. They had their pirate weekend this weekend, I guess, the Lockmaster was telling us. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot of boats, man. Very, very busy. How'd you guys like today?
Interesting. Thank God Lady K was there.
Yeah.
The last section is most boring.
Well, no, we didn't get stuck or anything.
Hey guys, okay, so we're in Lake Sylvan and we're docked with our buddy boat, and we've actually had to be the lead boat all day because they don't have a working VHF. They just bought the boat, so I don't think they can really be blamed for that. But they do have this handheld, but the handheld is dead, and it only comes with, from the store, a cigarette lighter to charge it. That boat doesn't happen to have a cigarette lighter port. So they've been kind of screwed by not having a VHF. So they've just been following us, and we have these walkie-talkies we've been talking on, and I've been doing all the VHF work. But we're going to be splitting up tomorrow because they actually have to stop and drive home and then get different crew and all this stuff. So we're going to get a day ahead. So he's going to need this VHF. So they actually were trying to fix it, and what they did was they cut the cigarette lighter plug off of it. Obviously that's a problem because this one actually has 4 wires in it. So which one do you do hot and which one do you do cold for the DC power? So they weren't able to figure it out. So I said, well, let me take a look at it. I'm pretty good at this stuff. So what I've noticed is this is where the thing plugs into the VHF to charge it. And if you look in here, you probably can't see it, but these little pins that it hits are labeled. There's a positive and then an M and then an S and then a negative. So there is a positive and a negative. So I'm just going to do a quick continuity test with the voltmeter to figure out which one is positive coming out of here. I'm going to guess that it's red, but we'll find out. And then a continuity test to see which one is negative. And once we know the positive and the negative out of these 4 wires, we're going to put a DC plug on here with some heat shrink and stuff like that, and a little bit of a lead. And then I'll give him the other DC plug. It'll probably be a male off of here, and then I'll give him the female with you know, a couple of feet of lead, and he can wire that right into his DC panel because he does have extra ports on his DC panel where he's got positive, negative wing nut kind of things. He can wire it right in there. I'll put a couple eyelets on it, and then he'll have like a little wire hanging out, and he can plug this right into it, and he can charge this thing. Okay, I'm thinking positive is red, so 0. And that one's positive. 0! Positive is red. And I'm thinking negative is this one with no sheath at all. I think next step is we're just going to probably take the other 2 wires, which I think are some sort of data transmission, because it is a VHF, so it probably does some other stuff other than just charge. If it's got 4 wires, it must do something else. So I think we're just going to snip these off, get rid of them entirely, and then just clean it up real nice. And then we'll put some connections on here and get it all set up. Okay guys, that's it for this episode, episode 77 of Lady K Sailing. Stay tuned next week so we can actually finish up the Erie Canal. And I want to apologize, this episode was quite late. We've been doing a ton of boat work on Lady K, getting everything done that's sort of on this really big checklist that we've sort of been working our way through. Also, we've been trying to figure out how to get to Annapolis, because last episode we said we were going to go to Annapolis for the boat show, and as it turns out we can't get there. There's just no way that it's going to actually work. So unfortunately we won't be able to go to the boat show, which we're both super bummed about, but
I mean, it is what it is. We've been there every year for several years, and this year was like really special for us because we really wanted to go and meet all of you guys and spend some time together and get to know everybody, but sadly we can't make it. Anyway, should have next week's or this week's episode up in a couple of days, so we will see you guys soon. Make sure you hit the like button if you like the video, and subscribe if you want to be able to see all the videos that we release every Friday. See you guys later. All the love from Lady K. Bye.